Well, here we are again. It's been a hot minute.
It has.
Welcome to Page to Screen and In Between.
I'm Staci, and this is my literary partner in crime, Renee.
That's
We took a little beat. We took a pause. We had some
Mhm.
personal things to do, both of us. And now we're back. Super excited about this episode. Can't wait to
Yeah,
dig
and it's
in
going to
and
be
talk a little bit.
the same but different
Mhm.
because we've just decided that sometimes on our weeks off, when we're sort of doing our prep, they're very organic conversations. They're very kind of on the fly. And I feel like we kind of get some of our best stuff during that time. So we're
Yeah,
going to try to be a little more organic, a little less prepared in one way and then not the other, in
yeah,
terms of we're not just going to fly by the seat of our pants.
right.
So, really, how we've always started it was what's fascinating us. What's fascinating you right now? Do you have anything?
Well, okay. I know this is page to screen. We did a staycation
Okay.
this last weekend, which I highly recommend. So I won't go into the screen yet, but I highly recommend doing staycations. Now, some people think a staycation is just, okay, we're just going to stay home. I think you really like if you really organize it. We had a ball. Like, I researched restaurants, I made reservations every night. We went to a movie, we did hikes, we had a certain number of steps we wanted to get in, to practice for our walking thing in June. So we were like very intentional on
Okay.
our 4 days, and we had so much fun. I
Did you
mean,
explore the city at all, or was it
no,
other than the restaurants?
no, I mean, kind of. We kind of did, because we would go for walks after we got done eating, and we would do some different things. And we did go to some different parts of the city that we hadn't like the Grove. It's one part's called the Grove. So
Mhm.
we kind of walked around there a little bit, but mainly it was just, I mean, like, we really connected. We were very intentional, even like taking naps, doing our stuff, like, we were like,
I
okay, we're
love that.
going back, we're taking, like, I mean, we were so intentional, and we just loved it. I mean, we had so much fun, and the food, I mean, was just phenomenal. So then we rated the restaurants at the end, and we rated what we liked the best. I mean, it was fun. So
You
staycation,
acted like tourist. I
yes,
love that. I
staycation.
absolutely,
That's what
you were a
I
tourist in your own town. I
yep,
love that.
yep,
I love that.
yep,
Okay, well, that's really fascinating. I think
yeah.
that's
How
so
about you?
smart. So you are a firm believer in that.
Yeah.
I I was thinking about what's been fascinating me lately, and I am nearly obsessed, not quite, but really close to cooking shows and mostly baking shows. Okay, so I adore the Great British Baking Show.
Okay.
That is like I mark my yearly calendar around when it's going to start because I know, okay, they're filming right now in the UK, so that means we won't get it on Netflix until the fall. So I'm just like tick, tick, tickety tick, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And then I love just cooking shows. I love
Have
there's
you
a one
watched
on
the Jamie
Netflix.
Oliver one? There's a Jamie.
Yes, yes,
I am obsessed. It's only like 5 episodes.
yes, so good.
I
I
love
mean,
him so much. He's got like 7 ingredients every time, and he just is kind of rough, and just I'm inspired.
inspiring.
Yes, I'm
Exactly.
inspired. That's so funny. Same
We're
way,
both
like, girlfriend.
inspired.
I am. Do you actually bake? Then after you see it, are you inspired to bake, or are you more just like want to watch it and
Okay,
enjoy the
so a
competition?
little bit of both. I am definitely inspired, but we don't right now because we downsized and this is somewhat of a temporary townhome that we own right now. This isn't our last final move. And the kitchen is not conducive to cooking. It's tiny, it doesn't
Yeah.
have an island. Like it's Mark's favorite dessert is key lime pie. And I will make that. I have my own little secret ingredient and recipe. and I've sort of taken a bunch of recipes and figured out my best one. So
Yeah.
I'm like a mad scientist in the kitchen, but I really want to learn how to do all the decorating part of, because I feel like that's artistic. That the
Yeah.
baking
Yeah.
where they plating and on a dish for when you're cooking, or baking when you're doing the decorations. I just haven't had the time. That's going to be my retirement job, I think, is
Yeah.
to learn how to do that. And I may be terrible at it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, well, you
And
might.
it's
I mean, you
okay.
might get. Yeah, you'll have to do some practicing. Have you ever watched the Gordon Ramsay Next Level Chef?
Yes, I've been watching it right
I feel
now.
like my kitchen is the basement kitchen. Because we moved here, so the basic kitchen that they have to do with like limited ingredients and
Broken
rusty
appliances.
stuff and no mixer. They have to make, like all this.
They're mixing with the fork,
They're mixing.
instead of they're
Like
whisking
all
with the
that.
fork.
That's my kitchen, because I got all of my stuff from my daughter. Her left, like she went through her kitchen and kind of like gave me stuff when I moved and just said, here, mom, here's. So, I mean, we have 4 plates, 4 bowls for I can't have company. If we do,
No,
I gotta
no.
get it. So I feel like that, but it does cause me, this is going to be the positive spin on it, to be creative.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have to be a little more creative. I know there was a chef on there that was a home chef, and she got to be in the top kitchen. And
She
she
didn't
goes,
know what to do.
I don't even know what any of this stuff is for. Like, I don't
Mhm.
even, I know what the oven's for, and everything. She goes, but most of this stuff, I don't even know what to do with it, because
Mhm.
she said, I'm just used to just
That
like,
would be me.
yeah,
Yeah. I would
yeah.
have to take
So
culinary classes just to learn how to use the equipment.
exactly,
Like when they're
exactly.
coming on,
So
some of their equipment, I'm just like, what is that? And then they have all these fancy names for what I would call, well, isn't that just a pastry? No, it's a Paris breast.
oh, I
It's
know.
a,
Oh, and
you know,
the
choux pastry.
latte and the blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Yep.
isn't it just
Creme.
a compote? Or you just
Yeah.
put the compote on top. I mean,
Uh-huh.
so I try to do things, but it is fun. The plating I do like. So we had the kids it was 2 Easters ago, because Selma was just born. My granddaughter was just born, and everybody was together. And I was in charge of the salad, and so I plated everybody's salads and did it like pomegranate seeds, and the whole and it was great because everybody started to dig in. But my youngest, she was like, wait, mom, can you tell us what we're eating? Like she really, because she had made the main course, so she had worked really hard, so she was like, tell us what we're eating. And so I went out. It was really fun to do that, and to
I know you should have stood up and handed it to him, with the one arm behind the back,
I
how they
know, but
serve.
I had it all plated on the table. And I do like to plate food. I think it's kind of fun
It's
and I don't do
creative.
it well. Like,
But that's okay. It's
yeah,
creative, and I
yeah,
feel like that part of me that was a makeup artist for Estee Lauder, I feel like that part of me is dying to have that avenue again. And sometimes, like when I make our graphics for this
yeah,
podcast, and
you get some
I have
creativity.
fun with that, but it is literally like watching my father when he was trying to type. It is totally hunt and peck,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and so I would take classes just to learn how to use the equipment.
I'm interested. How did you grow up eating? Were you a sit down? The meal was brought to the table in serving bowls and that, or off the stove?
Oh, that's a really good question. Depended because my parents were divorced when I was very young.
Yeah,
My father's was very formal. As you met him, you could expect that.
right.
Very formal. It was, everything was plated, everything was served on the table. You were served your plate, and yes, the bowls in the middle, for leftovers. But you had to ask if anybody wanted if it was the last piece or whatever. You had to make sure nobody else wanted it. It was just, there were rules.
Right.
My mother, it was totally off the stove.
Okay.
So I got a taste of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
We were definitely except for Sunday dinner,
Sunday
Sunday
dinner,
lunch after church. So
Right.
mom would put the roast in before we left for church, on a low,
And that's so safe.
heat. Yeah, yeah, of course. Put the roast into our gas oven, before we left for church.
Super safe.
Yeah. And it would be so funny because if the pastor was going over, you could see my mom up in the choir, like, okay, my roast is going to burn. My roast is going to burn. But it's, she had it timed. We would come home, she would make the stuff, and everything would go on the table and we would eat together then. During the week, she would make stuff. My grandma stayed with us a lot. She would have stuff on the stove. We just kind of would just get it, go watch TV. I mean, we were watching, and we actually kind of raised our kids. We would get our plates and we watched TV. I mean, like once in a great while, we'd sit and have a meal, and we'd do highs and lows and all that. But most of the time, it was.
Oh, I know. Like when I'm sitting in a church, and because we've moved so much, a new church, and the pastor starts, and inevitably you hear this sermon, no matter where you go. But we've had the pleasure of going to all these different churches, and inevitably you hear dinner time is the time for community within the family. We need to all sit around together, have that conversation, make sure your kids know that you're interested in their lives. And I'm like, whoever had time for that?
Right.
We just were.
They know I'm interested because I'm carting them around all their stuff.
Exactly. The stay-at-home mom that was never
Right.
home.
Like,
because
I mean,
we were carting them all over the place.
Exactly. Like it was all I could do for suppers, like to get them fed before we had to go to all of our stuff.
And usually they were different times. So sometimes
yes,
you were feeding the kids at different times as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I would throw
we live in a different world.
Yeah.
We just do. And I don't regret any of that. It was so much fun. So,
No,
oh my gosh, that was so fun. So do we want to move into our next piece?
Sure, the in-between, because we didn't do, well, we can talk about some page to screen, right?
Okay, yeah, let's do some page to screen or pages. I think this time what I wanted to do, I can't believe I just said I never do that, is I wanted to sort of just let each of us read whatever was calling to us instead of being a little more formal where we're going to need to read, watch the movie, and prepare our notes. Yeah. So what are you reading right now?
So I am one that always, I shouldn't say always, but most of the time have a nonfiction and a fiction going. Mm-hmm. That's just, my brain can handle it, and I do a fiction and a nonfiction. So I just got done reading Stephen King's memoir on writing. It's quite old. It's 20. I think he finished it like 20 years ago when he had his accident.
It was around the turn of the century, which I can't believe I just said that, but right around the late 90s.
But he did do an excerpt in the version I got, or the edition that I got. There was an excerpt from 2024. That he did a little appendix or whatever. So it was just fabulous. And he is, because he does a little bit of his CV, like his story first. It's a memoir. And then he starts talking about writing, but he's like, I'm a snot. I'm a total snob. I mean, like, I loved how he talked, and he'd be like, and if you don't like it, then put this book down and don't read it. Like, I mean, he was like, so he could care less.
That DNF did not finish.
But I do DNF have books. But I do probably have more best-selling novels than you do. So,
I might be doing something right.
Yeah, he was like, did something right. So, but if you don't like it, that's fine. Just put it down. So there was one part that was just, I can't wait to tell you this. So my dad, I'm doing his memoirs, and I have a whole, his memoir, not memoirs. I have a whole chapter on Shepisms, some things he used to say, because he would just come up with some sayings, and we'd be like, what?
My father-in-law was like that.
Well, he used to say, when you'd say, I want this, or I want that, or I want something, he'd say, well, want in one hand and poop in the other, and see which one fills up faster. Okay. Well, Hannah, my daughter, hated it. She's too logical. She's like, well, of course it doesn't even make
Very
sense.
literal. Yeah.
She was very literal. And I was like, well, that's the whole point of it, honey, is
Mm-hmm.
just what I thought he made it up. It's in Stephen King's book. He's talking about using cuss words in
Okay.
your writing and how it's not necessary except for sometimes.
Right.
And he uses that quote.
So now your father's not so dang original, is he?
Well, but I was just like, I would love to know like the origin, and I'm sure I could whatever chat GPT it or whatever. But I just think that is so. I was so excited, so I told my daughter, and she was like, "Whatever, okay." I mean, I still think it's stupid, but but that.
That's so Hannah.
So yes,
I love that.
So I have just really enjoyed it. It does bring joy. There's a whole appendix about joy, and it does bring joy. And he says, read, read, read. As a writer,
Writers read. That is the one thing.
Read. So he gives
Because
book lists and yeah.
I've gotten so many people in my life since they find out that I'm a traditionally published author, which means, the whole New York process.
Right.
When they find that out about me, and usually, okay, so I don't mean it to be this way, but it's almost always successful men toward the end of their career are convinced that they can write a novel. Now, mind you, they've never read one in their lives, or they've read one, or they've read like maybe two or pieces of three in their life and are convinced that they can write a novel. And I'm like, but you have to read first. You need to understand beginning, middle, and end. But I'm a successful accountant. I'm a successful doctor. I'm sure you are, but and I can read and write. I'm sure that you can, but are you a storyteller? I always say there's a difference between a storyteller and a writer. Right. A writer is somebody that knows the basics of writing. You can learn grammar, how to put a sentence together, even how to play with prose, but you have to that's sentence by sentence. If you're not a storyteller, then you are going to struggle being successful as an author or a novelist, or even just as a memoirist, or what we call creative nonfiction, which is what On Writing was. And because he's a storyteller, Stephen King can't write anything without telling you stories. That's because that's who he is at his core, and it's why he's such a good author.
Yes.
And so
that's me want to read some of them, like, because he suggested or he talked about some of them more than others. The Stand was one of them that he really talks about. And I remember I started reading The Stand and I got too scared. Like 3 chapters in, I'm too scared. I think I might try to read it again with more of the, I don't know.
Read it as a writer instead of reading it
and as a story, as him telling the story, as opposed to, really, because it's scary. Like his stuff is scary.
Yeah, and he only has a few, like the Shawshank Redemption
and Green Mile,
and is it Stand by Me? Is that
Stand by Me? The Body. Mm-hmm. Stand by Me is not scary.
So those, and they're brilliant stories. I mean, brilliant. So
and I read the one that he did with his son Owen. He wrote with Sleeping Beauties.
Oh yeah,
and that was semi scary. Like I was able to finish it and do that. So anyway, I'm inspired.
So that's your nonfiction. Have you been reading a fiction book?
I've been slogging through American Pastoral. I'm still on that one, and it's a slog fest. But I started reading the one you suggested, This Is How It Always Is. And it is so good.
So good.
So good. So I started reading that one. Of course,
Hillary told me that you were telling Hannah. Hillary's my daughter. Hannah is your daughter.
Yeah.
My daughter told me that now Hannah is reading it.
Yes, I told Hannah that Hillary suggested to you. You suggested me. Now I suggested her. So now we're all reading it.
And now Hillary's like, I told her about that book years ago. I'm like, well, sometimes it takes.
She also had a baby.
Yeah. And sometimes this is the other thing. Some books, and I think this is true in the season of life that we're in, some books will resonate then and not others. Like I've picked
Right.
up books that I couldn't get through, and then years later I pick them up and I'm like, how could I? And I gobble them up because I'm
Right.
like,
Right.
how could I have not loved this from the start?
Yeah.
And so that's where sometimes it's just the season of life. Every book has a time, and I feel like that's sort of this is how it always is one of those
That's
books.
good. And it's
And
just really well written, and
it is
it's
so well
entertaining.
written.
It's so entertaining. And
It is.
yeah, so it's not
And
just
even the opening, the
yes,
first paragraph will hook you.
yes,
And
yes.
me as being an author, if you catch me like that, I'm in. I am in. I
Yeah,
take me on this ride.
right.
It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It opened my eyes to an absolute whole different understanding of transgender, right? It
Yes.
was transgender.
Uh-huh.
And in a whole different way. And from a parent's perspective
Right.
with a little boy and the brothers, even how the brothers respond and the father. And it's
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's good.
so good, so
Yes.
good and so unexpected and certainly eye opening. And it makes you just realize how we are so judgmental, even of our own children.
Yeah.
And, and that was
Yeah.
kind of, I'm like,
I
you
know.
know,
It's good.
I was like, ooh, if that were me, how would I have reacted if that were my daughter or son? And then that was me as a parent. And so I just highly recommend that one. Obviously, I recommend it to everyone. And that was my daughter recommended it to me. And it sat on my TBR, my to be read pile that's about this high. And when I say this high, it's like higher than, corn right before it gets harvested. And
Knee high by the
yeah,
4th of
knee
July.
high by 4th of July. Um, and you know what? I never knew that phrase until I moved to the Midwest. In the South, we never say that.
And it's always so much higher than knee high.
Of
So it must
course,
have
in
been during the
July,
Dust Bowl that was
that was,
made
yeah,
up, because
yeah,
it's always like with irrigation systems and stuff, it's
the
always high.
origin.
Yeah.
Oh, it's way higher than that.
Yeah.
But it sat on basically my nightstand for probably 2 years before I
Oh,
picked it
wow.
up. And as soon as I read that first chapter, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Good.
well, and on my end,
Yes.
another Hillary recommendation,
Okay.
again, years ago, because she read it during the pandemic, is Circe.
Cersei.
And Circe.
Okay.
It's about the mythical goddess Circe in the Odyssey. And
Oh,
it's
okay.
told from her perspective. Let me just tell you how popular this book is on Goodreads. It has 1,375 ratings
Wow.
and no 1 stars. They're all 4, 5, 3 stars. And she also wrote Song of Achilles, which is the story of Achilles.
Hmm.
And Odysseus is like in maybe half of the book of Circe.
Okay.
It's another one that is so well written. And
Mhm.
it's written like you would expect a
Yeah.
demigod to write, because Circe
Yeah.
is what they called a nymph, which she is the daughter of the Titan. I can't say his name, who is the sun god, who basically he rides his chariot every night or every day for
Not
the
Poseidon.
sun.
No.
No,
Okay.
because
Poseidon's
Poseidon is an Olympian. So they're
okay.
the Titans and the Olympians. And
Okay.
the Olympians are Zeus, Poseidon, and but they were the children. Zeus was the child of two Titans. And then
Oh,
the
okay.
Olympians became the stronger of the gods, and then the Titans became the lesser gods. And the
Wow.
nymphs, I even studied all this, but I don't know about you, but my eyes would glaze over in high school or
Yeah.
college when I
I'm
had to take these
so you
stories.
said it's Cirsi?
No, Circe. Think
Oh,
like circus, Circe.
Circe. Okay. I'll have to look
And
into
she's,
that.
I think, cesarean section, like she does the first cesarean section on her sister.
Oh, okay.
Um, then it's also the nymphs, who are the daughters of the Titans, but they're kind of vapid and dumb. But this particular nymph isn't. And this
Okay.
particular nymph, the gods all make fun of Circe because she has this quiet, fragile voice. And it turns out that she has the voice of a human, and that's how she
Oh,
got that voice. And it's very well done, and I think
okay.
it's another book that this is what's so beautiful about really well-written fiction.
Yeah,
Learn history and pieces of our world in a way that you never learned in the classroom because
right.
it's
Right.
couched in the story and it's peopled by, populated by characters that are real and exciting and
Yeah,
feel real. And suddenly the history, this myth comes alive
yeah,
and you begin to understand why Cersei, she was also someone that turned men into pigs when they came to her island. She's exiled on an island. And then you understand why she does it. And
mm,
you get, from her perspective. And
yeah, yeah. That's
and that's
interesting.
another one that I am so glad I picked up. So that's what I've
Well,
been
I'm
reading.
definitely, I'll put that on my list for sure.
And none of these books that we're reading right now have movies,
No,
which
except I want to go over the movie that we saw this weekend,
yes, I would love that. Let's do it now. Let's
Project
do
Hail
it.
Mary.
Really?
What?
Okay, this is
Oh, Renee, like
it
I
looks
thought
like
it was,
just another space movie.
I thought, I was going to appease my husband because he goes to rom-coms and appeases me, so I was like, all right, I'll go to a scary space movie. I'm
Mhm.
sure I'm going to be scared out of my wits, but I'll just, go. It was more ET
Okay.
ish than Aliens for
So
sure.
very feel good. Feel good.
Oh, I mean, I left there and I said, that is the best movie. Ryan Gosling is
He's amazing
amazing.
anyway.
And it was the best movie I've seen since COVID for sure. Post COVID,
Okay.
the best movie I've seen. It was just about pure like friendship, pure like there was no sex, there was no cussing, there was no um it wasn't woke. It not I mean, not that there's anything wrong. I'm just saying that it wasn't. It was just pure. And I would
So no
say
lecturing. No
no
lecturing.
lecturing. I
Mhm.
would say that anybody from age 5 up,
Oh, okay.
because I mean, under a 5, they probably wouldn't care about it. But
Mhm.
any kid that can like watch a movie start to finish would love it. It's a family friendly. It was so good.
Okay.
Now I've heard some different reviews about the book, and I do want to read the book. Now that I've seen the movie, I want to read the book because I've heard different reviews. I've heard great, and so I want to read it and find out for
And I've
myself
heard the same about the book.
that it's really really good.
From yes, I've heard mixed reviews,
Oh, mixed
and
reviews,
I
yeah,
think it depends on the audience. I feel as though as especially in our culture right now, audiences are so prickly
yeah,
and are easily offended. And so I feel like there's something in that book that gets people riled up and others love it. And
yeah. Well, if it
I think,
is, it didn't translate to the screen.
okay.
Because I mean, I can be offended like anybody else. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't usually act on my offense. I usually try to, but
Well, and then you take a breath and then you think about it and you're like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
wow. Yeah.
But I am telling you, this movie was so good. I would,
Okay.
yeah, I would highly recommend taking,
So maybe
carving
that's
out some
the
time.
next, going forward.
Maybe we should, but it was really good. So,
Okay.
what have you been
What have I
watching?
been watching?
Yeah.
So, okay, I have stopped it. I have been watching Slow Horses on Apple
Wow.
TV. It is so
Oh,
good.
that's not the Five Sisters.
No, 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 no,
No.
no. It's got Gary Oldman and it's called Slow Horses and it's set in London. I love anything set in London, like all
Okay.
those crime shows,
Yeah.
all those mysteries. I think is it Acorn that is all British mysteries,
Uh-huh.
like Father whatever, Father Brown and Broadchurch.
All of
Like
them, Downton Abbey, like
yes,
any of
love
those
all that.
shows that are in England,
Right.
even
I just,
Bridgerton, like yeah,
yes. Well, that's very much Shondaland stuff because that takes a whole
right.
different
But I
take.
mean,
But I
that's
do
why I
love,
said even
and then we
Bridgerton.
love Harry. Yeah, right. We love Mark and I love Harry Wilde, which is Jane Seymour. She's in Dublin, England, or Dublin, England, Dublin, Ireland,
Uh-huh.
and she is a retired English professor who solves mysteries with this.
Mm,
And it's so good. It's very cozy mystery kind of stuff. But Slow Horses is much darker, and it's about it's a spy network from MI5, so they're like would be the FBI
yeah.
for England and or the UK. And the Slow Horses are it's only this ragtag team. There's five that have had massive public career suicide. They've done something incredibly stupid. And so they are forced into this small little group called Slow Horses. And each season they're having to solve this major crime that nobody else knows is a crime. And so it's how they kind of bumble through
Mm,
saving the world.
okay.
And they're all just so
Like good
gifted and yet
characters.
flawed, and the acting is amazing. And Gary Oldman is so good. He played Churchill. It's the guy that played Churchill in
Yeah, kind
Churchill.
of. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that's what I've been watching. I think I'm on season 3. I think right now there's 5 seasons.
Okay. I'll have to check
Yeah.
it out. And you said it's on Apple.
It's on
Yeah.
Apple. You probably don't. I don't know if
I
you have
want to
it.
get Apple again because I want to watch Shrinking. With this
So
season
good.
with Michael J. Fox in it.
Yes, we just watched it. We just
Yeah,
watched
and
that. Well, I
I've
think
seen them both, the other 2 seasons, but I haven't seen the season with Michael
the
J. Fox.
season finale is Wednesday night, tomorrow night
Okay.
for this season for
Yeah.
Shrinking. And then of course we love Ted Lasso. And then I
Yeah.
think what
Did
was
they do the new
morning
Ted
show. The
Lasso
morning
out?
show. Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet.
And Morning
And then the
Show with
morning
Jennifer
show.
Aniston and
Yeah, and Reese
Reese
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon.
Mark
Yeah.
is having, Mark being in media all his career, he loves it. He's like, oh, there's a new morning show on.
Oh, good. Yeah. We might Apple's super cheap, so we might go ahead and get that one.
Mhm.
So the shows, this is something I want to put out there that I've noticed. So we're watching The Pit.
Oh, yeah, that's on my list.
Okay. And there's a new season of Call the Midwife, which we've watched for years.
Okay.
It's about the midwives in popular London,
Yeah.
the non-daughters, and they're nuns, but there's some
Midwives.
midwife,
Yeah.
the nuns are midwives, but then they also have other nurses there anyway. So it's all about these stories and it starts in the 50s and it's going into like the early 70s.
Okay. Ooh,
So it's covered, like almost 15 years. The series has with 15 seasons.
Okay.
But here's what we noticed. So both shows have they're all about the story, right? The
Mhm.
individual things that are happening to the patients and then how the people react.
Mhm.
So in The Pit, you've got attitude, you've got like ego, you've got, oh my God, you've got looking at each other and getting mad about the government and like it's all of this stuff.
It's almost formulaic how you're seeing it.
Besides the actual things that are happening. In Call the Midwife, they're nuns, it's all about, the equally hard things, probably harder because of the poverty level of these people that they're dealing with. And yet they look and they come together and they help each other get through it. And they work together with the people trying to get the best life for them, the best end. Like it's just so positive. So literally every night we'd be like, well, should we watch the negative one first or the positive one? Because we've committed to the first 2 seasons or the first season of The Pit. So now we're like, okay, let's just finish. I don't think I'll do another season of The Pit.
Okay.
after this one. But once you commit to a season, sometimes you're like, all right.
Gotta
But
finish
literally,
it.
that's what we say every time we're like, well, let's watch a negative and a positive. And so we always start with the negative because I want to end my night
On a
with these
happy note.
beautiful. And there's death, and there was like the last episode we did, the kid, the son of the man died of rabies, and it was horrific. But in the end, the guy said, I we don't talk about things, and the other person that was with him was like, your son is in there. You need to go tell him how you feel
Yeah.
about him and that you're proud of him. And so he goes in, and it was just like so great. And then the son dies. It's not like there was a happy ending. I mean, the son dies, but the ending was that, this dad got to at least tell his son how proud he was of him. And I don't know. Maybe I'm a sucker for that stuff, but I'm just like, why not?
Mark and I but we've noticed this in general. And now that I'm going to say this, I want you to watch The Pit again with what I'm going to say, because I could be wrong, but I think I'm not. We've noticed it because we love NCIS, the original
Yeah, okay.
NCIS, and we watch it every episode when it's live. We've watched it since the beginning with Gibbs. And what we've noticed is that in these American shows, the writing has gotten sloppy and lazy. And so they're creating, and we see it in Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, very much like you're talking about with The Pit, is that these American writers of these TV shows are creating drama. It's false drama. They're
Yeah.
creating it. It's lazy writing. They're creating this external drama that doesn't really have anything to do with the character or what's going
No.
on. And they recycle the drama with
Yes.
different characters. And
Yes.
it's like, oh, okay, well, now we need to. Chicago Fire is the worst. Now we need to bring in the bad guy within the system so that then the good guys within Firehouse 51 can overcome, that internal bad
The
guy.
bureaucracy and and then like
Just
last season, ICE came in
because he hates them. Hates them
yeah,
because, just because he hates them. Like there's not even, it's like these cardboard villains. And
yeah,
and so I feel like when you get these, and it's not true, maybe it is more true with these British groups, is that they're still digging deeper into character and building conflict from the story and letting the conflict be real and organic rather than let's create quick conflict because we've got to do another hour episode next week.
yeah,
And so they're
yeah,
getting, I think it's lazy writing is what it is.
yeah, yeah.
So
I agree.
now that I've said that, see if you notice it.
I will. Oh yeah. We talk about, I mean, it's so funny. Jerry will say, well, you're a writer. I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, I write, but and I'll say, like, when they write, they just throw in a sex scene or they throw in, a bunch
Gratuitous.
of cuss words. It's like, that's so
Mhm.
lazy. Like,
It's lazy.
why are you putting in this sex scene for 15 and not like a quickie, not like a sex scene and then it fade, or they're going to have sex and it fades away. Oh, no. It's
filler.
20 minutes of this,
Mhm.
and I'm going, come on.
I fast
Like,
forward because it's like this has nothing to
wait.
do with the story. Has nothing to do with the story. It's not even part of the conflict.
filler.
It's not even going to create conflict later. It's just
No.
here we have this little secret between these two that are having this little affair that somebody's going to walk in on them. You already know it's going to go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that goes back
pure laziness.
to it. It's very formula driven. And
Yeah.
so, now that I've said that,
I will watch for sure. But those
okay.
are my, so
Well, let's, this has been so much fun, Staci.
I
Let's wrap up. You
know.
have a last word?
I get the last word.
Well, if you want it.
Do you have one? I don't know if I have one prepared.
Well, okay, so this really isn't a big last word, but I'm getting ready to go today's my day. I'm off from work. So today is my day of appointments.
Okay.
And I'm going to, get my dentist, teeth clean, hair, waxy,
Everything.
yeah. And so I've just noticed that my hair is too long and it feels like I've gone into little girl hair. Like there's this, these women that we get to a certain age, and when I say a certain age, out of our 30s, not
Okay.
in our
Right.
20s or
Right.
30s,
Right.
where we're hanging on to this hair for whatever reason. And I feel like, I mean, you can see, look at see
Oh yeah.
how long it
Yours
is.
is long. Are you going to get a haircut? Are you going to get
I'm
it
going
cut
to get a
off?
haircut. That's it. I'm going to do it. I don't know that I'm going to go as short as you,
Yeah.
but because I'm just not quite ready. But I just, I where I work, there's all these mirrors, and so you walk by the mirror, and I feel like I can see these curls, and it looks like this little girl. And then
Yeah.
you look at me, and you're like, oh no, that's a woman that is a little older. Now there are people like Jacqueline Smith in her 80s who has her long hair, and Jane Seymour who's in her 70s who has long hair, but I feel like it's not professional. It's just, and I'm not talking, a lot. I'm talking like 3 inches maybe.
Yeah.
And so I feel as though, I guess my last word is it's just hair.
Yes.
And sometimes women are so connected to our hair and our style and whether or not we feel good about ourselves. The
Right.
whole bad hair day generation of
Right.
I'm having a bad hair day, which means my hair doesn't look great, my day is ruined.
Right.
I'm done with it. I'm not
Yeah.
going to do it. I'm going to release, and I hope that inspires next time you see me that I will not have
Right.
this long little girl hair. I'm not in my 30s anymore. I don't need long little girl hair.
Well, Hannah's friend has a saying that I have been utilizing, and it was very difficult, during during COVID. We saw ourselves in meetings, we saw ourselves all day long, right? Like
Yeah.
this, like all day, which was very odd. Like usually in a meeting, you don't see yourself,
I
right?
know
You
I've been
always
like messing with my
right.
bangs this
People
whole
are always
time.
messing. Okay, so she has a saying, Nunya. So she's like, you do your hair, you look in the mirror, and then it's none your business. You
Yeah.
walk away. It's none your business. You don't look at it again. You let it go. And I have been really trying to do that. Like, okay, it's okay to get ready. It's okay to do your stuff. And then
None your business.
none your business. So, so have it be none your business. And it is hard when there's screens and mirrors to not keep looking. I mean, it is hard,
Right.
but yep.
I'm
Honey,
done.
I
It
can't
was
believe
like,
this,
and
looked
here's
and
the thing, like I said, it's just hair.
it is
My hair
hair.
grows so fast that if I cut
Yeah.
it a year from now, it's going to be even longer than it is now. But
Yeah.
and it's not that it's hard or easy. It's
Excited
just,
for you.
yeah. So,
Okay, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
so on
This
that
has been
note,
great.
I'm starting my appointments. Need to go get my teeth clean.
Okay. All right. Well, we will see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good.
We'll see everybody in 2 weeks. And thanks for joining us. And we loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was
Our
fun.
little
I
session.
appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for listening.
All
Okay.
right. All right.
All right.